Few teams can count on as big a home field advantage as Slugger Field provides Louisville City. Tonight in downtown Louisville, the reigning USL Cup champion pays a visit. It's a rematch of the Eastern Conference Final. Looking live at Slugger Field, two teams jockeying for playoff positioning in Louisville, Kentucky. New York Red Bulls 2 sit in 8th, and they take on the home side, Louisville City. Hi, folks. Mike Watts, George D. Metellus. Glad to have you with us. For New York, no Allen, no Bezecourt. If it's up to Flemings, no problem.
Man, for sure. The young Jamaican has been sensational this year, and with 5 goals this season. Last season, he had 7, so he looks like he is on the way to surpassing his career high in the USL. So we will see what happens, but he's going to have to play well to break down this Louisville City defense. And as you mentioned, Louisville at home has been excellent. So if he plays well, that increases New York Red Bulls' 2 chances of winning this game.
On the other side for Louisville City, all eyes on Cameron Lancaster back in the starting order.
Yeah, he scored last week in that 4-1 victory at St. Louis in the Kings Cup match. So Cameron Lancaster comes into this game well prepared, looking strong, and with that depth that Louisville has up top and attacking, he has to play well in order to cement his place in the lineup for James O'Connor.
Speaking of the lineups, for New York Red Bulls too, no Aaron Basulovic, no Vincent Bezecourt. They still have a pretty talented side.
Yeah, for sure. We talked about Junior Flemings, but chances will be created for him with that attacking line of Bonomo, Vallon, and Lewis. If those 3 play well, Junior Flemings will get a lot of chances to score, and that could lead them to victory. So we'll see what happens. But look out for those 3 behind Junior Flemings to play well and have a huge influence in this game.
On the other side for Louisville City, 4 changes too are players coming back from yellow card accumulation suspension.
Yeah, one of them is the captain, Paolo Del Piccolo. He is the captain, and with 3 in the back, he's going to have to do a little bit of extra defensive duty in order to prevent Flemings and Vallon and Lewis from having influence in this game and getting deep into the attacking third and breaking down that back line. So Del Piccolo will have to work hard, especially defensively in this game, in order for Louisville City to keep up their impressive home run.
And Dobrovolsky in goal again for Louisville City, whose season ended in bitter defeat against New York Red Bulls 2 last year in the conference final. For New York, it's been a struggle. They try and get their season on track. Kickoff is next.
Ever wish your allergies would go away fast? You can stop wishing. Because at Family Allergy and Asthma, we can end your symptoms in as little as 2 days with Rush Allergy Shots. It's the fastest route to relief, and our doctors offer it. Call now.
The most important financial decisions aren't made in banks. They're made around kitchen tables and on porch swings by real people trying to do the right thing. At MainSource, we understand that, and it's the reason we're here. First Capital Bank of Kentucky is now MainSource Bank. Come see us at any of our 15 Louisville area locations. We're looking forward to being great for you. MainSource, life needs a great bank. Member FDIC.
I had an idea in my mind of where I wanted to be. I had attended a semester prior to joining the military, and I knew I always had a passion for computers. The fastest way for me to get there was through a certificate program at Sullivan University. Currently, I'm a security engineer at Farm Credit Mid-America, and I'm also an instructor at Sullivan University. By bringing my professional experience into the classroom, my students gain real-world knowledge. For me, I'm still learning in my career and from my students. You really never leave the classroom. It follows you everywhere.
When you live in one of the worst areas in the nation for allergies, you need access to the best allergy care. Family Allergy and Asthma has led the way for more than 35 years, helping patients throughout the region find relief. Call today and end your suffering for good.
The heat is hot. You should have some adult beverages when you go with the heat.
We come here pretty much every Friday now. We've been here several times and we love it.
Everything is fantastic, sides and all.
Chicken and waffles, it's excellent. It's the best place you can get it.
It's so hot, you actually get a buzz from eating this. You come get takeout that tastes like something you cook at home. That's what keeps me coming back.
Slugger Field in Louisville, Kentucky. Fans arriving in force yet again. It's been a tremendous season at the gate. It's been a tremendous season on the field. 9 wins, to go with 5 draws and just a trio of losses, while New York Red Bulls 2 in 8th in the East. There's John Wallenick, and his team last year had 13 wins on the road in 15 games. Only 1 so far this season, George.
Yes, for sure. The only win came on the road at Richmond, but in the other matches in which they either drew or lost, they gave up at least 2 goals. That's been their biggest problem. They have to be strong defensively and keep it tight defensively in order to have a chance against Louisville, who, as you see there, 1 home loss this season, best in the East. They have the best home record, best home advantage in the Eastern Conference.
James O'Connor's side has been tremendous at Slugger Field, dealing with the less than ideal size of the pitch. And in Louisville tonight, they take on a rival who they fell to each of the first 5 meetings before finally a 3-0 win at Montclair State. For Tarek Morad in this defense, can they stand up to the high press of the 4-2-3-1 that New York Red Bulls are so well known for? For Tim Dobrovolsky, another start in goal over the man from Trinidad and Tobago, Greg Ranjetsingh, Canadian, but playing internationally with TNT. Dobrovolsky back in net for a lineup that features 4 changes on the whole. As James O'Connor, as usual, not afraid to make changes in his order. It seems like every time we do a game, he's got a couple new faces in.
Yeah, for sure. It's a situation for James O'Connor where he's very confident with the squad. The training has worked off. Everybody understands their role. Doesn't play players out of position, and the communication is very strong between O'Connor and his team, and that's why they are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference and look like a playoff team basically from the beginning of the season.
No surprise there. Standing over the ball is Stefano Bonomo, and the defending USL Cup champion New York Red Bulls 2 get the first touch in Louisville tonight.
Yeah, one way New York Red Bulls 2 can avoid all the goals that might be scored against them. We spoke about how many goals they've given up on the road. One way they can avoid that is by maintaining possession, holding on to the ball, and keeping Louisville in a defensive posture throughout the match. We'll see if they can continue that or do that over the 90 minutes.
It's Ownby. Ownby got it toward Lancaster and bounces to Evan Loro, who gets the calling goal, his 13th start of the year for the Michigan Wolverine, 21 years of age.
Yeah, but in a 4-2-3-1, a lot of times you want to play through the middle, and that was the case there for Louisville with Cameron Lancaster getting a touch. So that works out well for Louisville. Maybe they spotted something early on in this, just 1 minute in. But you can see that they want to work the ball through the middle, and they had the chance there. Excuse me, that was New York with with Louisville, Lancaster, and Ownby getting touches.
7th meeting all time between these two sides as Fleming's tagged by Jimenez. Florian Vallot, the captain's armband on his left bicep tonight. Andrew Teneri, who came on as a trialist preparing to take the impending free kick. Teneri an assist this year, his 8th start, 13th appearance for Red Bulls 2. Throws an arm up. Dobrovolsky, a 2-fisted punch. Najim to his left, and a long-range strike is off the post as it was tipped wide by Dobrovolsky. Fleming still going for New York, and the ball out over the end line.
New York looking very dangerous here in these first 2 minutes. I always say if the space and the opportunity are there, go for the long-range effort. Almost scored.
It's Teneri going short and wound across the face, a goal by Cutler. Back to Lewis. Throw for Red Bulls 2.
And Red Bulls, they have to keep the pressure up here on the road in a hostile environment against one of the best home teams in the league. They have to keep the ball in their attacking third here.
It's Bonomo losing the handle. Lancaster, the chair pulled out from behind him. Belongs to Red Bulls 2, 4th minute. Teneri breaking by. Turned over on the pass toward Cutler. Gets all the way through. It's Lancaster. Caught up to from behind. He's looking toward the far side official who threw the flag up.
Well, we got to get a look at that again, but that all started with some sloppy passing in the midfield and some hard work done by Neil McCabe to win that ball and then slot it behind the defense of New York Red Bulls 2 for Cameron Lancaster. Very close, but take a look at it. Maybe slightly offsides. Very close. But something that in the future they can
turned over as Flemings arrived, and well, the pass into an offside position. This a moment ago. Did Dobrovolsky even get a touch to it?
Looks, if he did, it was just slightly fingertip.
Ownby into the attacking third. Ownby going all the way up toward the byline, and a goal kick to New York in the 5th minute.
You can see Louisville's pace up top with Ownby and McCabe and Lancaster. With the timing of their runs, they're starting to find a way to get in behind that Red Bulls back line. Things opening up here in just 5 minutes. It's a good sign going forward in terms of goal scoring chances.
Jimenez put it off a Cutler. Well, the attack's on again for Flemings. Cutting it across the grain. Sliding challenge, got the ball out. And now the attack on for Ownby. He trips to the ground. And Teneri came in trying to keep the ball moving in the other direction, and Ownby was indeed fouled. Well, this has been a high pace, high energy opening 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, you can see Louisville, they want to break quickly. They're trying to work those counters, break quickly, and try to play the ball through the middle, get Lancaster some touches, because they know if he can get behind that Red Bull defense one-on-one against Loro, could be an opening goal for Louisville.
Tosh, put down well by Ownby. Ownby goes to work all the way up to the corner flag and lines it out of play.
A great burst there by Brian Ownby. And we've seen McCabe, Lancaster, Ownby, all three of them showing great bursts of speed. I think New York Red Bulls defense has to be a little bit concerned here, because it's looking pretty easy for Louisville attackers to get in behind those defenders of New York Red Bulls 2 and threaten to go. So far, no shots, but still, it's just slowly coming. If you're Louisville and James O'Connor, you feel like it's slowly coming. The attack and a good opportunity on goal is slowly coming.
Red Bulls owning the early possession statistic as Bonomo dispossessed there. Paco Craig. There's some space there up the right-hand side. Slotted through on the right-hand side. And dangerous pass square to Loro. Another outstanding crowd tonight in Louisville. Over 11,000 for their last home game. You look at it, they're averaging well over 1,000 more fans per game this year as the ball lobbed across the face of goal. Pulled down by Jimenez. Well, this is a long-range try. Never really had a chance in the end.
Looked like it was Guy Abend that took the effort from long range. But still, the space was there, and Louisville showing that they have a little bit of creativity. They can find little pockets of space when they have the ball in possession going forward. We saw the possession percentage in favor of New York, but Louisville has been pretty smart in terms of how they've been able to attack going forward on the counters.
Well, it's a conversation for Lucas Apala, Paco Craig, talking to here.
Yep, just planted that shoulder into the back there, brought him down. And he's lucky he didn't get a yellow card for that. But it's still early in the game. I think the referee wants to issue those verbal warnings first and then show the cards maybe in the second half. Well, obviously, it depends on what the fouls play out.
Teneri hopped up and in the 6-yard box, pulled down by Dobrovolsky. Well, Dobrovolsky, 2 times he's already had the save of the week in the USL this year. It was an injury to Greg Ranjetsingh in the first half of the first game of the season that led to him moving into the starting order. And eventually, with the U.S. Open Cup coming, he was relieved of that starting duty. This is his 2nd consecutive start for Louisville City as Ownby will earn a throw.
Ownby is looking very dangerous down that right side of Louisville's attack.
Well, Fleming's got a touch to keep the attack on. Gets the return ball and slid away from him. Extra challenge to Niall McCabe.
Yeah, we talked about Fleming's in the beginning of the broadcast, and Fleming's trying to get that pace going, but it's a great tackle there by McCabe. Then he goes down, but Fleming's, with his pace, he's actually moved out wide. They've made the change. He was the point man up top of the 4-2-3-1, but he's moved out wide with Bonomo up top as that lone striker.
Well, Morad held on to it. And a throw for Louisville City. This high press can really put you in a bind.
The problem with that high press is that you can't sustain it for 90 minutes. It takes so much energy to press so high that 60th, 70th minute, the fatigue just wears down a team. And that leaves a lot of space in the midfield and in the back for counterattacks and some quick, sharp passing by the opposition. But if they can get a couple of goals from the press, it'll work out very well for them.
Velo took it away for Bonomo. Flemings from distance and an easy save for Dobrovolsky.
Yeah, Fleming's out wide on the right, Lewis out wide on the left, and then Bonomo has moved into the lone striker role up top. Bonomo, a tall player, someone that can get onto the end of headers, aerial challenges as well, as Fleming's tries to use his pace out wide on the right.
A throw here for New York Red Bulls 2 in the attacking third. Cutler. Jordan Scarlett. Pass cut off. Ownby. Cinco Lewis running from behind. Putting a bit of pressure on. Smith overlapping. Throwing the attacking third now for Louisville City as this ball really pinballing up the field with a lot of pace. Hey fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. And don't forget, SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Frank Yallop, the former coach for Phoenix and the new GM in Fresno, will be on Monday night.
Well, that'll be interesting. Good to see. Frank Yallop is a coaching legend, obviously, from his days at MLS as well. So it would be very interesting to hear what he has to say. I wonder who hosts that show. I'm just off the top of my head.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Ownby going all the way. Laurel just sort of tapped it ahead and ultimately out for a corner.
Maybe not the most confident of goalkeeping there by Evan Laurel, but it didn't go over the line to the back of the net. But a play like that, he's supposed to secure that ball and hold the possession for New York. Kept it out, but still conceded a corner. So not out of danger yet for New York Red Bulls too. But Laurel probably could have done a better job there, or should have done a better job there, I should say.
A lot of options forward for Louisville. Del Piccolo. Well, Laurel got enough. And a foul, as there were plenty of purple jerseys around him.
for sure. Anytime, I think everybody knows, those who watch soccer, anytime the goalkeeper, especially in that 6-yard box, any kind of contact, you can breathe on him, and they're going to whistle in his favor.
Then why do you put a ball there, right?
Well, it depends on, I mean, obviously there's training ground scenarios that they've worked on, but an accurate service into the area in that 6, probably near post, is probably what they want to do and just beat the goalkeeper to the ball, head it in. Didn't quite work out that way. But that's the thing. Why would you want to send it into the 6 knowing the goalkeeper has the advantage in that sense? Better to serve it into the penalty area, close to the penalty spot. That way you have more room. And also you can get more power onto it as well. You have a little more room to elevate and to use your technique to head the ball in. But a lot of teams try to go near post in the 6-yard box, and most of the time it doesn't work.
And well, handled here by Sean Toach. Holmby checking back. Kyle Smith back in the order after a yellow card accumulation suspension. Sometimes you wonder what it would take to get a guy like him out of the lineup. In the end, it was a few too many cautions.
And they need him out wide on the right. We're seeing most of the play for Louisville out wide on the right. So we're looking to see something that's just either developed through the course of the game or something that James O'Connor saw in film study that makes them believe that the left side of the New York Red Bulls defense is vulnerable, but most of the action has come down the right side of Louisville's attack.
Well, it's an all-out sprint. And Jimenez was there. He switched to the right side. Mark Anthony Kaye came back from Canada in the Gold Cup, played on the left in the most recent game, but now Jimenez able to go back to the left with Smith, who was named the fans' mid-season defensive player of the year on USLsoccer.com.
One of the main reasons why Louisville is in such a great playoff position and why they are so difficult to beat or practically unbeatable at home is because of the contributions of Kyle Smith. We've seen him show some ability in terms of the ball at his feet, attacking as well down the right side. So very versatile player, someone that James O'Connor can trust in his lineup.
Well, it's important that he is because he's also a part-time accountant. Those are both jobs where you can't be wrong. Well, here's Holmby racing onto it now. He cuts it back. The shot is up and over the bar. It was Smith. Well, he nearly added a goal to his account. Wasn't quite able in the end.
It's a great ball over the top to put Holmby in behind the defense. If we get a look at it, the pass to put Holmby into the back and get him behind the defense was brilliant. And then the cut back to Smith, and technique is just a little bit off, and he sails it wide. You'd like to see him kind of lean into it instead of leaning back.
That was tipped ball through the box. It was dangerous all the way and gets out over the byline. Well, it was a great save from Loro then.
And right now, New York Red Bulls, too, that left side of their defense is in big trouble. You're talking about Ndama and Noah Powder. They have been exploited and beaten constantly, and that time it almost led to a goal. Louisville's right side of the attack has been very dangerous, and Red Bull's left side of the defense, they need to tighten things up or else a goal might come from that side.
Najim's pass, an interception for Jimenez. Morad's pass dangerous in its own right. Karam's free now to Tosh. Zico Lewis chasing. Clearance brought down. Looking for Flemings. There's Dobrovolsky.
They want to give Flemings as many touches as possible because of his pace out wide. But the best way to do that is with short passing, the long balls over the top. You have to be extremely accurate with that. It hasn't worked out so far for New York Red Bulls too in this match.
Now for a corner as New York will try and get their third shot of the match on this set piece. The 18th minute.
This is a good time here for Stefano Bonomo to be the target man, to elevate and get a touch onto the ball here. It's a tall striker, tall attacking player. He might be the intended target here.
Just his second appearance of the year. Could he be? Off of Gaia Bend. Away from Endom. And lifted out of play by Najim.
Yeah. For New York Red Bulls, obviously they need goals. And with their road record, the defense has to be tight. But obviously the goals will be important. If they can get them from long range, the high pressing, don't know how much longer they can continue that. As I mentioned before, usually teams that employ that style tire out in the 60th, 70th minute. So if they can get a set-piece goal, that will help them out tremendously. That will ease a little bit of the necessity to press high.
Well, that wasn't what Noah Powder was trying to do. Smith will throw in. Been a handful of clearances in this game that could maybe leave a bit to be desired.
Yeah, one of the things about defending that's so important is composure, and we haven't seen too much of it.
Excellent ball by Morad. Ball into the box just out of the reach. Lancaster. Jimenez sliding. Throw. Cutler. Velo lost the handle. Now all the way through. Could it find Lancaster? It won't. Morrow off his line.
Yeah, couple of clever touches through the midfield. One-time touches through the midfield to try to send an attacker through, as Lancaster and Ownby and McCabe have been dangerous, especially Ownby and Lancaster. They've been able to do it down the right side, also up the middle as well. So that's where Tenari and Najem have to start tightening things up. Maybe have to give up a little bit of their attacking responsibilities to shore up that midfield. That might be an adjustment that John Wolniak will have to make and as this match progresses. But those opportunities for Louisville are there, especially with quick passing and the right decisions.
Free kick to New York. 20 minutes gone in the opening half. It's Powder. Ricochets out. Powder lofts it in again. Well, Zico Lewis may have something to do here. Lewis trying to get by Smith. Volsky was coming, and that's cleared out of danger.
Yeah, great defending by Smith. Lewis had the quickness on him, but he used his body and his physical presence to keep Lewis off of the ball and keep New York Red Bulls at bay. So well done by Kyle Lewis there, Kyle Smith defensively.
That was through the legs of Del Piccolo momentarily, and now the back pass. Velo gets into the box, lays it off. Flemings looking again for Velo. It's blocked. Still alive now. Flemings on the turn. Flemings, the Jamaican, that's excellent. Sends the ball across. Nobody there. Velo just too far over his head. Bonomo won't be trying to rush upfield and belongs to Louisville.
And that is why we see Junior Flemings in the lineup. What he can do, his pace, his quickness, imagination on the ball, able to use his footwork to create space, send in the service. Unfortunately for New York Red Bulls too, it didn't lead to a shot on goal, but certainly danger for Louisville's defense.
Foul by Powder. Can you do this?
Only in the video game. Not in real life. If I tried to do that in real life, I would break my ankles for sure.
You'd break mine too.
Yeah.
And speaking of the work you have to do with those cleats, hey fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the United Soccer League. For more information, to get the same cleats the pros wear, NikeSoccer.com.
Flemings and Del Piccolo having some issues.
Well, Del Piccolo back after that yellow card suspension, has a red card to his name as well. The former star at the University of Louisville. Loro seeking out Velo. James O'Connor has the arms out, asking where the foul was that time.
Valo and Bonomo, the way they have been kind of interchanging, even though they haven't combined with each other yet in terms of anything 1-2 on the ball, the way they've been able to interchange in space, give each other space, has worked out pretty well. And they are looking pretty dangerous. The issue now is getting Bonomo some more touches, because Valo, we've seen him a couple of times get into the area and cause some problems for Louisville's defense. But it seems that when Valo pushes up, Bonomo moves out wide to give him that space. So there's a good understanding there between those two.
Back pass away from Ownby, who's trying the left. Jimenez, now Flemings. And now Flemings draws the contact from Del Piccolo, who's still having some words.
Well, the captain has to be the most composed of everyone on the pitch. So he has to be careful.
Cutler off the restart, off of Niall McCabe. And a corner for New York Red Bulls, too.
Now McCabe has put in a hard shift so far defensively, being aggressive, facing players, intercepting passes, and disconnecting New York Red Bulls through the midfield as well. He's playing pretty well so far in this game.
A throw, that ball, like you mentioned, aimed at the near post in the 6-yard box was where they're looking to go.
And the problem there was nobody was making a run to the near post, so it was an easy clearance for Louisville there. That's training ground stuff that I'm sure John Wolyniec worked on, but they didn't execute it there properly, and it was an easy clearance and a wasted corner.
I think the expectation when John Wolyniec talks about offense is that people should be listening.
Yeah,
His
for
history
sure.
is pretty remarkable with New York.
Yeah.
The Metro Stars. Well, Flemings tried to lay it off. Back now to Cutler. On the turn, Teneri. And the midfield standing strong, and Lancaster got strung up by Ndam.
Well, the good thing about that foul by Ndam on Lancaster was that it prevented Louisville from breaking out on a counterattack, because we've seen them on a number of occasions break quickly with some sharp passing, with some fast players, especially Ownby out wide on the right. They've been able to break out quickly, and Ndam with the foul on Lancaster prevented that.
Well, and there's a yellow card here, because the assistant referee on the near side clearly speaking into the ear of the ref that Florian Valo apparently in some way had tampered with the ball before it was turned over to New York on that free kick. Second yellow card of the year to Valo. Bit of a weird situation there.
Yeah, you don't see that too often. Some kind of intervention or time wasting, delay of game type card.
In the 27th,
in the 27th
minute,
yeah. It's like, really? Is that necessary? I mean, it's still 0-0. If it was 4-0, maybe. But 0-0, I don't understand that decision there by Valo.
Lifted toward the box now. And the counter is on for New York. Jimenez dispossessing his Red Bulls to attack it. Maybe a quick throw for Valo. Well, nothing to lose there. Another throw coming.
Yeah, a little too nonchalant with that throw in by Valo as he tried to connect with Flemings. But what we saw there on that quick counterattack there by New York was the pace of Louisville all throughout the pitch, because the minute Valo burst through there were about 5 Louisville City players kind of waiting for him and surrounding him. So good pace by Louisville defensively in that particular situation.
And Valo draws a corner for New York. Andrew Teneri lining up. It'll be the 4th corner for Red Bulls 2 of the half.
And Teneri has to send this one into the heart of the penalty area, because it hasn't been working in the 6.
Teneri, an outswinger. Out of play. It's a goal kick for Louisville. Thoughts on that yellow card.
He got a yellow.
That
Vilo
was the
got a
yellow.
yellow card for that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was ridiculous. It has to be more than that. Maybe he said something nasty to the referee. It can't be for that. Unless he was too close to the ball and the whole 10 yards, 10 meters from the ball situation. But even then, you give him a yellow card for that? No, I mean, okay, a verbal warning if that's the situation. That's ridiculous right there. He didn't deserve a yellow for that.
The Frenchman picks up a rather cheap, in George Metellis' estimation, yellow card.
That's cheap, like penny candy cheap. Yellow card right there. Yeah.
Where do you find penny candy?
I don't know. I saw it in the comedy special before I came in today, so that might have something to do with it.
Yellow card to Teneri. Everybody's picking them up. It really is penny candy today.
Yeah. This has to be for some kind of verbal abuse. I think Valo and this one, Teneri, has to be for some kind of verbal abuse or some words that they said to the referee, and maybe that's why the referee, Lucas Spala, has decided to give the yellow cards there, because I can't see anything in terms of rules violation on the pitch from run of play that suggests a yellow card. I guess it has to be something verbal.
Well, for Louisville on the attack. All the way back to Craig, and now Dobrovolsky. Well, that's tipped up to Teneri. Del Piccolo, a line drive. Back to Loro. And Dobrovolsky will pick it up. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world. It features some of the game's top talents and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information. Visit USLsoccer.com or follow them on Twitter at USL. Well, that's well done by Jimenez, and he continues his run too. Good away by Ndam. Throw in front of the New York bench for Louisville City. Flemings is down behind the play.
Well, first of all, you got to give credit to Hassan Ndam, because after Cutler was beaten down the right side, he came over very quickly, read the play, and created an cleared the ball away for New York Red Bulls. So well done by Ndam. And then Cummings gets his foot stepped on, his left foot stepped on.
Well, Flemings, who debuted with the Jamaican national team against French Guiana previous to the Gold Cup, staying in the game and not needing to come out for any measure of time. Talk about a difficult position to try and get into with Jamaica after what Romario Williams did, the Charleston Battery man in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, great Gold Cup all around for Jamaica. Back-to-back finals appearances. It took a bit of a defensive mistake, and Jordan Morris pouncing on it for them to for the United States to win it. But it looks like with back-to-back Gold Cup finals appearances, Jamaica's program might be taking the next step, and USL is an avenue for Jamaican players and players from all over the world to develop. So good things on the horizon for the Reggae Boys. And USL is a part of it. And USL MLS, American soccer, is a big part of that.
Yeah, you look at their roster, and Darren Maddox, the big offensive threat. Javon Watson with the Revolution. Go to the back, Damian Lowe with Tampa Bay Rowdies. And then Andre Blake, the reigning MLS goalkeeper of the year.
Andre Blake was fantastic.
Wasn't he?
In that Gold Cup. He was amazing, for sure.
Luckily, Blake will be okay after being injured on, was it Josie Altidore who kicked him in the hand?
Mm-hmm. That was the turning, that might have been the turning point of the game, too.
Yeah.
For Jamaica. So, needed seven stitches for that injury. I'm sure Philly was not too happy about that either, but Gold Cup, a big success for Jamaica. Unfortunately, they didn't win it, but American soccer, American professional soccer is providing a lot of opportunities for players from the Caribbean, from Central America to develop and play the game, and the national teams are benefiting from that.
And just look, Greg Ranjetsingh was sitting there for a World Cup qualifier with TNT against the United States.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the bench and available, watching Christian Pulisic wear a hole in the field up and down the line.
He's going to do that a lot in his career, young Christian Pulisic. Yeah.
No,
You got a bright future.
Here between New York and Louisville, 33rd minute into the 34th. Jimenez continuing his attacking run, had to dip back on side. Sliding from 5 yards off the byline was Ownby.
Jimenez, you made the point about Jimenez jumping back, so he stayed on side. He should have kept going. Let the referee, let the official make that call. If let's say he goes and he attacks, because that was the thinking of Lancaster. As he got it back from Jimenez. Lancaster wanted to one-touch Jimenez through, but Jimenez worried about the offside. Let the official make that call.
George,
burst through, and then if they don't call it, then you're one-on-one to go against the goalkeeper. But
that's morally dubious at best, George. Come on.
You're trying to win a game. You're not trying to get into heaven. I mean, like, you know, let the officials make the call if offside, you know. And he should have kept his run going. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make, is that keep your run going, and then if you're offside, you're offside. But if you're not, and the referee misses it or the linesman misses it, you're one-on-one, and then in the end you score. At least you create a goal-scoring opportunity. So that's the moral of the story, kids. Keep running, even if you're offsides. Yeah.
Zico Lewis is definitely onside.
Yeah.
What can he do with this? With Tosh really leaning into him, turned it over to Smith. And a foul as Lancaster goes down. Hey, fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast, Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC, Channel 85. And don't forget, SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week, USLsoccer.com for the dates and times. They just released the rest of the USL Game of the Week schedule for at least the present moment on USLsoccer.com last week. And they'll have Orange County coming up here next week.
Big Western Conference game there as well. The guy who the USL, the Coast to Coast, I like that guy.
I hear he's
like
just
him.
a gentleman and a scholar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad, so. Yeah.
Bonomo, the drop pass. Denari. I think his name's George Metellus.
Oh,
that's it, right?
Then,
yeah.
then I don't like him. Forget him.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't like him.
The throw for Tarek Morad. Gaia Bend. Line drive over the top that stretched a bit too far.
Yeah, I know earlier in the match I mentioned how Valo and Bonomo have been kind of moving to allow each other space. It's been the same thing between Ownby and Lancaster, except that the difference is that Ownby and Lancaster have looked a little more dangerous in attack for Louisville, but the understanding between Lancaster and Ownby has been very good in this match. Unfortunately for Louisville, it hasn't led to a consistent chances, consistent goal-scoring opportunities. But you figure if they can continue that understanding in the second half especially, that's when the goals will start to come, or at least the goal-scoring chances will start to come.
So far, a couple good opportunities for either side through nearing 37 minutes. Somehow Gaia Bend kept that going in the right direction. It's a free kick for Louisville City. Team that's allowed a league conference low 16 goals this year. Against the New York side that last year set the league scoring record.
Now see, I'm a little confused here because Valo and Tinari have yellow cards from the referee, and Del Piccolo just elbowed, I believe it was Najem, in the face, and he didn't get a yellow card for that. But Valo and Tinari got a yellow card for what? Trash talking to the referee. Like, I don't get it. And Del Piccolo elbowed him right in the face of the referee. It wasn't intentional, but it still was an elbow, and there was no yellow card given. I'm a little bit bewildered about these refereeing decisions when it comes to the cards. Everything else has been fine, but those little situations have been I don't understand that.
Well, it's a long run here. Rebels do recover. Thing is, you really don't know when that's going to come back to bite you. How many yellow cards that you've accumulated.
Right.
Look at last game, and Del Piccolo was out as a bend was held up. And so too is Kyle Smith, two really big players for this Louisville side. It's a good opportunity here for Louisville on this impending free kick.
Yeah, this is the chance. The last maybe 10, 15 minutes, we haven't seen, I should say 10 minutes, we haven't seen them get a chance, get any good goal scoring chances. The spaces that they had earlier in the match in terms of Lancaster and Ownby getting in behind the defense have closed up, mainly because New York have done a good job of possession. So maybe to open up this New York Red Bulls defense, they might have to score on a set piece.
Well, it's Jimenez on the left. Jimenez curls in the cross, headed, it's in! Louisville City takes the lead. Paco Craig, 1-0 to the home side.
Oh, it's a great bending effort by Jimenez and Paco Craig. Quiet all game, obviously as a center back. He's just been playing back, doing his defensive responsibilities. But you could see the bend on that ball, and Paco Craig read it better than everyone else, and he was able to score there. You wonder if Evan Loro should have attacked that ball in midair a little bit more aggressively instead of staying on his line. But whatever the case, it's a great service and an excellent header by Paco Craig.
By number 18, Paco Craig.
He was behind, it looked like Noah Powder.
Yeah. How Powder, it's almost as if the ball went through Powder to get to Craig.
It's a Kentucky lottery goal. Fueling imagination, funding education, nearly a second for Louisville City. And, well, that would have really fueled the imagination. This home side, Lancaster off of Loro.
Yeah, it's a great through ball for Lancaster. And Loro reading the angle right that time and aggressively coming out, cutting down the angle and doing well to deny Lancaster.
Del Piccolo. Punched away by Loro. McCabe. Trying to go over the back line. Flemings quickly surrounded. And Flemings drew the foul. You get the feeling these teams don't really like each other very much. You talk about the yellow cards and lack thereof at times, and times where you felt they came a little early, but in this first half, there really hasn't been a lot of love lost.
Yeah, the playoff history between these two might have something to do with that. And the fact that, especially New York Red Bulls, maybe disappointing season so far, trying to get back into the playoff mix or at least get into the top four for sure. So, but you like to see that. You want to see rivalries. Any league benefits from good rivalries, good intense rivalries. Obviously, you don't want to see like punches thrown or anything like that, but some good physical soccer and some good emotional soccer always is beneficial to the league and helps bring some intensity to rivalry games.
Cutler too far for Velo. I think last year's Eastern final finished in penalties. We'll get all the way out. Goal kick for Loro. Of course, you think about the 11,000 plus that were at Slugger Field a couple weeks ago for FC Cincinnati. We'll have another big meeting with them month of August.
Ohio, Kentucky, border war.
Let me tell you that there is really no love lost there. That I can promise you.
You gotta like that. But that's what the USL, the USL needs rivalries. They need those regional rivalries to stir up emotions and to get people to come to the games more often, but also give them something to talk about. Did you see what happened in this game? Oh yeah, these two rivals, they did this, this, and this. So rivalries are always good in pretty much in every sport. You have a good rivalry, it makes the league juicier, makes people more interested.
How did Smith keep that in play? Velo continuing up the field now for New York. Zico Lewis taking on Del Piccolo. Back now to Tosh, pushing up the line. Hey, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Bit of a back tap there toward Flemings. Olmo couldn't keep the ball for New York. Instead, Teneri ran into his fellow 36, Del Piccolo. Del Piccolo launching up the line now for Ownby. Stepped out by Scarlett.
And quiet last few minutes for Ownby, as well as McCabe. They want to play quickly. You can see quick throw-ins, quick one-touch, passing, running in the space.
Smith, nice move. Ownby plays it low. And the defense for New York standing up. Back out now for Lewis. He's on the break. Lewis with Tosh, battling shoulder to shoulder. He outran him for the ball.
Well done by Sean Tosh. He needed to get back into space with Zico Lewis bursting forward.
And now it's Lancaster, met by Ndam. Play continues, no whistle. And now Velo, back and forth it goes. Velo lifts it, looking now for Flemings. He wasn't able to bring that down.
Oh, that's a tough break for New York, because Flemings, if he can control that, he's got plenty of time, he's got plenty of space, and with his quick feet and his pace, his speed, he could have either cut it back to the left or make a run right at Dabrowski in goal and really open up or get an equalizer here, or increase his chances of getting an equalizer here in the 45th minute. Tough break, but that's why first touch is so important. The players that have excellent first touches can control the ball. Even that wasn't the best ball. It was a good ball in terms of the vision and exploiting the space, but it wasn't the best in terms of positioning for Flemings. But if his first touch is a little bit better, he controls it, and then he could send it on goal there. But you see the back-to-back action between these two teams. Both of these teams have a lot of pace.
And Noah Powder has picked up his first yellow card of the year. Powder last year playing 20 games all as an amateur, and now he's on a pro contract since the middle of July. That first pro yellow card, you never forget it.
And his teammates won't let him either. When they film study, like, what were you thinking? But Noah Powder has struggled at that left back position. There have been times where you wonder where he is. There's just no space. He's been leaving all kinds of space out there.
Well, that won't be a trouble at all for Evan Loro. And we've reached halftime. Well, Louisville got their goal in the 39th minute, and they really had a very fluid first half, these two teams.
Yeah, both teams showing their pace, running into space. The finishing hasn't been there. It's been that touch in the final third, that connection in the final third that hasn't been there, and it took a set piece in order for us to get our first goal of this match. But I'm interested to see what adjustments these coaches will make for the second half in order to help their teams get a big victory.
Craig's goal, a Louisville City goal, brought to you by the Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, the Kentucky Lottery. Craig, the goal in the 39th minute, snapping a header down. It was excellent service from Oscar Jimenez. A 1-0 lead for Louisville City over New York Red Bulls 2. We look at the Eastern Conference when we come back.
Ever wish your allergies would go away fast? You can stop wishing. Because at Family Allergy and Asthma, we can end your symptoms in as little as 2 days with Rush Allergy Shots. It's the fastest route to relief, and our doctors offer it. Call now.
The most important financial decisions aren't made in banks. They're made around kitchen tables and on porch swings by real people trying to do the right thing. At Main Source, we understand that, and it's the reason we're here. First Capital Bank of Kentucky is now Main Source Bank. Come see us at any of our 15 Louisville area locations. We're looking forward to being great for you. Main Source, life needs a great bank. Member FDIC.
At UPS, I'm the senior web developer for the Aircraft Maintenance and Engineering department. When I was in high school, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. So my senior year, I took advanced programming. It was a lot of fun. It was just like a giant puzzle, and you got to put all the different pieces together and make it your own. The one thing that's really great about Sullivan is it gives you the opportunity to get an associate degree before you get your bachelor's degree. I've already been in my position 2 years and just recently graduated with a bachelor's.
When you live in one of the worst areas in the nation for allergies, you need access to the best allergy care. Family Allergy and Asthma has led the way for more than 35 years, helping patients throughout the region find relief. Call today and end your suffering for good.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Halftime, who is that masked man? Who is that hero in Louisville? It's not Paco Craig. He's got the goal, though, as it's 1-0 at halftime at Slugger Field. How about we look around the United Soccer League right now? Where do I get one of those capes?
I know, right? I like the Batman thing. I like that. That little kid is smooth.
Speaking of smooth, Miguel Gonzalez, a couple of goals against Colorado Springs Player of the Week.
He has to be OKC's best attacking player. Miguel Gonzalez wears the number 10, and he's just getting better and better as the season has progressed.
Sacramento, the stadium news really positive there as they sell out 11,569. Another win against a currently playoff position to Seattle Sounders too. And in the West, Max Lakowecki scoring in the final 5 minutes before a 2-2 draw finishes against San Antonio, as San Antonio draws at home in what was really one of the most highly anticipated games in the West.
It's disappointing when you are the home team and you give up a goal in the last 5 minutes of the match. That's when you, as the home team, have to close out those games. That's disappointing for San Antonio.
Here's what's coming up. Tulsa always seems to have Monday on their own. I'm not sure how they bribed everybody to that, but Real Monarchs are their opposition, the #1 team in the league right now. OKC and the expansion Reno side is the United Soccer League game of the week. New York Red Bulls 2 and Rochester Rhinos play on Saturday. Then Charlotte and Louisville. And Charlotte has just moved into first place in the Eastern Conference with their win today.
Oh, those Carolina teams, not bad. Charlotte, Charleston. So, yeah, they're playing some football in the Carolinas, north and south.
None of them have capes or Batman masks.
They are the University of Louisville students, I'm thinking. They got free tickets, which is pretty cool.
1-0 Louisville over New York. Highlight stats when we return.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound. Having someone check on me assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Halftime at Slugger Field. What a gorgeous view this is. And don't forget, you can meet Louisville City FC players Oscar Jimenez, Mark Anthony Kay, the Gold Cup hero, and Sean Reynolds, 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow. That's Sunday at Soccer Village on Shelbyville Road. Save 10% on authentic Louisville City gear and enter to win a signed jersey. 1-0. Craig, the hero in the 39th thus far. Highlights when we come back.
Ever wish your allergies would go away fast? You can stop wishing. Because at Family Allergy and Asthma, we can end your symptoms in as little as 2 days with Rush Allergy Shots. It's the fastest route to relief, and our doctors offer it. Call now.
The most important financial decisions aren't made in banks. They're made around kitchen tables and on porch swings by real people trying to do the right thing. At Main Source, we understand that, and it's the reason we're here. First Capital Bank of Kentucky is now Main Source Bank. Come see us at any of our 15 Louisville area locations. We're looking forward to being great for you. Main Source. Life needs a great bank. Member FDIC.
What drives employee engagement and why does it matter? U.S. businesses lose $11 billion annually as a result of employee turnover. Only 29% of employees are fully engaged, while 26% are disengaged. Caring managers encourage more engagement in the workplace. Find out how to live, learn, and lead with Sullivan University's master's degree in human resource leadership. We believe in you.
When you live in one of the worst areas in the nation for allergies, you need access to the best allergy care. Family Allergy and Asthma has led the way for more than 35 years, helping patients throughout the region find relief. Call today and end your suffering for good.
Mike Watts, George D. Metellus with you. 1-0 Louisville City at halftime in a rematch of the 2016 Eastern Cotton. I want one of those.
Yeah, I know. Cotton candy is so good.
I was about to say the Eastern Cotton Candy Finals. How about we tell you how we got to this point where we're eyeballing someone else's cotton candy? Here are the halftime highlights. And this game had so much action from the outset.
Yeah, it sure did. An opportunity here for New York Red Bulls. Long-range effort is coming up, and it just goes off the post. That would have been a sensational opening goal for New York, and they definitely would have appreciated that. Unfortunately, didn't go in, but still, New York Red Bulls showed no fear in attack in this first half.
So Zico Lewis unable to score. It was physical as well.
Yeah, we see Junior Fleming's out wide on the right, and and they tried to push him around, body him off the ball. Not Neil McCabe in the mix as well. And Flemings actually went down for a while with getting his ankle stepped on. But then the goal would fall in the 39th minute.
Yeah, Paco Craig from Oscar Jimenez. Great header, but a great service, too.
Yeah, it's a brilliant bending service and over the head of it. Looked like Noah Powder, and Paco Craig is there. But through the run of play, it was tough for both teams to score. So we figured that a set piece would be the manner in which a team would break through and get the goal. Paco Craig timing it. And you wonder maybe Evan Loro should have been a little more aggressive.
Late opportunities galore. This time Cameron Lancaster, Loro, big save.
Yeah, he makes up for a little bit of non-aggression on the set piece with some excellent goalkeeping to deny Cameron Lancaster, who had a couple of chances in this match, at least getting behind the defense, but that was his first real shot on goal.
Loro a little more aggressive after the fact. Here are the statistics at halftime. And, well, the shot advantage and the shot on target advantage, all the Louisville City side.
Yep, for sure. One thing that's interesting, we see the possession in the first maybe 20-25 minutes. It was New York Red Bulls, too, with the majority of possession. But it evened out as the match progressed toward halftime. So we'll see what happens in the second half. But I think the numbers, they're favoring Louisville City. That means another goal is coming. You figure Lancaster, and especially Brian Ownby, if they can continue to run into space, work well together, they could get a second goal and put this match away.
So 1-0 Louisville City at halftime. And fans getting ready for this second half of play. Let's take a look at what's coming up for these two teams in the very heated Eastern Conference. New York right now is in 8th place. Rochester in playoff position. Charleston currently in 2nd. Cincinnati has that big U.S. Open Cup tilt. Ottawa is in striking distance of the playoffs. Rowdies are in the playoffs. That ain't easy.
No, it's going to be very difficult. 3 of their next 5 at home, so that should help. But it's going to be tough traveling to Ottawa, traveling to Charleston, who are currently 2nd in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be tough for New York Red Bulls. But if they can come out of this stretch, you're talking about a possible 15 points. Let's say they get 12, 13 points out of that. That'll set them up beautifully for the playoffs. But it's going to be difficult. All those teams are right there in playoff position, or at least playoff contention.
How about we tell you what's coming up for Louisville City at Charlotte? They are now first in the East with their win tonight over Bethlehem Steel, a 4-0 drubbing. And then FC Cincinnati on August 12th, and there's going to be another hopping crowd. Got to get those tickets quick because they're going to run out.
Yeah, that we mentioned it in the first half, that Ohio-Kentucky border battle, you know, that rivalry of border states. So that should be interesting. FC Cincinnati right now in playoff contention as well. Bethlehem, you mentioned, they're going to be a team to contend with. Those 3 games right there, those are going to be very difficult. And I always say, 2 out of the 3 on the road. If they could get 6, 7 points out of the 9, they'll set themselves very well for a playoff run as well.
And then, of course, that Plastic Cup rivalry will be back at it between the Coopers and the Pride and the supporters groups up in Cincinnati. O'Connor back onto the field. If you're the head coach of this Louisville side, what did you take away from the first 45?
Well, I think they were able to weather a little bit of that New York Red Bull storm in the first 20-25 minutes of the first half because of the way the Red Bulls pushed forward, but they were able to keep their shape defensively for the most part. I think James O'Connor can be very encouraged by the fact that they were able to pass the ball through the midfield pretty easily without too much resistance. And also, they got in behind that defense a couple of times pretty well also, with Ownby especially, because Noah Powder has not performed well at the left back position for New York Red Bulls. So they basically, Louisville, if they just do what they were doing in the first half, the last maybe 10-15 minutes, and get a little bit better with those last passes in the attacking third, they can finish this match with a victory, pick up 3 points at home.
And John Wallenick working his way back across the field. You're at Slugger Field in Louisville, Kentucky. A great crowd on hand this evening. This has been the case much of this season. Players working their way back out onto the pitch. And you mentioned for New York Red Bulls too, high pressure, high press. It's tough to keep that up. If you're the Louisville defense, it's hard to defend against that too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. When we're talking about the second half and that high pressing, New York Red Bulls might have to take some risks here because they're down a goal. Obviously want to equalize and try to get a second goal to win, obviously. but they might have to take some more risks, which means they might have to be a little more aggressive in their pressing. Some of the defenders might press up a little higher, and that might work in Louisville's favor because we saw in the first half they were able, with some smart passing, to get in behind that defense with Ownby and Lancaster. So it depends how much of a risk John Wolyniec is willing to take for New York Red Bulls to get back into this game and get an equalizer.
No Great Clips substitutions at halftime. And the through ball taken by Craig, nearly taken right off his foot. Dribbling through the man who scored 2 weeks running and finally lost the handle. Flemings now, Velo. Pushed up the line, Najim. And there's Dobrovolsky.
Man, this is Kyle Smith. The more he gets involved, the more dangerous Louisville is. That right side, Smith and Ownby, have been nightmares for the Red Bulls defense here in this game.
Ownby off of Powder. And a corner to Louisville just over a minute into the second half.
Yeah, they've been able to exploit Noah Powder out there, but just a minute in, the connection of Smith and Ownby leads to a corner kick and a dangerous opportunity for Louisville.
Evan Laurel at times has put the ball into a dangerous spot off these set pieces. Well, the official having some words again.
Looks like it's going to be an in-swinger here, but where Del Piccolo places that ball, that's going to be important.
Del Piccolo to the front post. Recollects. Ownby. Del Piccolo. Chested back and lifted well beyond the midfield line.
I'm trying to look for that long ball over the top there. Sometimes with the pressing, you can kind of bypass the midfield with a long ball.
Flemings off his back heel was able to keep that in play and wins the throw for New York.
Yep, well done by Flemings with the control that he has on his feet and his pace. One kept the possession for New York. Well done by Junior Flemings.
Well, what can New York do with it here? Tenari. Lowe is making a run. Cutler playing it up that right side. Takes a deflection toward Morad. Velo. And it is a corner for New York.
Well, one thing Louisville is doing when New York have the possession deep in their attacking third is they're getting numbers back. Look at the penalty area, and it seemed like for every New York Red Bull attacker, there was 2 Louisville defenders.
Well, slid out, and now the counter is on for Louisville. Ownby, it's too far for him.
Yeah, that was the right idea. Ownby hustling back, blazing into space. Just the pass just a little bit inaccurate, but those opportunities, those spaces are going to be there for New York, or excuse me, for Louisville, as New York push forward looking for an equalizer. But Louisville is a fast team in pretty much every position. They've shown pace and great quickness or great acceleration on almost every position. So New York has to be careful. They have to be very careful here and be very deliberate with their possession and ultimately create and finish their chances.
And Piccolo's pass, wrong footing. The offensive run for Louisville City. A throw for Cutler in the back, 21 years old. The baseball capital of the world, Cooperstown, New York. It's Hall of Fame weekend, isn't it?
For baseball?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So he's missing what I'm sure equates to a local holiday around those parts.
Who's getting in? I haven't heard anything about who's in.
I only focus on the USL Hall of Fame.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah. So Babe Ruth already made it, right? Is he on the ballot?
In the USL, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Dosh forcing the ball out, throw for Powder. Great spin from Zico Lewis. And the ball cut all the way across. Somehow didn't find Bonomo. Didn't find anybody.
Wow, I think Bonomo whiffed on that.
Well, still time now for New York to make something of this attack. Teneri off to his right. Cutler. Now Flemings. Before it got to Velo. Brought down Del Piccolo. Velo now. Velo will take the shot. That gets through. They're looking for a handball on the New York bench. And there's no whistle.
Yeah, Velo had to take that shot. He was forced to take the shot because everyone was pretty much standing still. There was no one making a run into space, no one that could work. He could work a 1-2 quick passing movement with, so he had to take that shot. Took a couple of deflections. It looked like maybe there was a handball there, but I didn't see it too clearly. But still, New York Red Bulls, they're just having a tough time right now breaking down Louisville's defense, and the main reason is because Louisville are getting numbers back and limiting the amount of spaces. And so New York Red Bull players aren't running into space because they aren't there because of the good marking and organization of Louisville's defense right now.
Flemings went down there most recently. This is it a handball on Velo's shot.
Ooh, off that right arm.
If so, that's Morad.
Morad, yep. It might be a situation where it wasn't intentional, or what is that? The unnatural arm position, which I still don't understand that rule, because if you can bend your arm anyway, it's natural, right? I don't know. I mean,
do you run around with your arm cocked out all the time?
Like like unnatural arm position for me is if the shoulder comes out the socket and you put it on top of your head. That's unnatural. But any other bending of the arm is natural, right? Like I don't.
You haven't seen me shoot a basketball.
Oh.
That's unnatural. You haven't seen me throw in. No.
No.
It's not always natural.
It's not always natural. Oh. I can't speak to that, but I just don't understand the rule of unnatural arm. Yeah.
Well, that service was in and sidestep toward Dobrovolsky. Zico Lewis. Well, that's an excellent curling pass ahead to Bonomo.
Yeah, Bonomo, there was no lemmings on the right side that he could kind of filter pass through, and Lewis had just given him the pass, so it was tough for Bonomo to create or connect with anybody. But Zico Lewis on the left side of New York's attack has been very good.
Lancaster stepped out. Still on now for Ownby. It skips across towards Smith.
Oh, and they were late getting the ball to Smith because he was wide open. He was wide open. He was wide open from the minute that Lancaster got the ball deep in the penalty area with his back toward goal. He was wide open. Little quick turn of the head, and maybe he squares it out to Smith, and Smith can just take that one shot, go far post with it. But instead, the play took a little bit too long to develop. Ownby getting a touch, and by the time Smith got a touch onto it, the angle and the shot was nearly impossible. But Smith was open for at least a good 5-6 seconds.
McCabe, now Del Piccolo, dumping it into space. It's Lancaster. Well, he tried to find the run down the middle of the field of McCabe. Now ball up the left. And Chantosh leaning in from behind, fouling Bonomo.
I think the referee's going to say offsides.
Before the potential foul. A fan stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast, including special guest this week, Frank Yallop from Fresno FC. It's Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. And don't forget that SiriusXM airs the USL Game of the Week. Go to USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
You know, going back to that offside by Bonomo, if you look at the replay, Lewis is very frustrated because I think that through ball was going to be for Lewis. If Bonomo doesn't touch it, let it go through for Lewis, then Lewis is in behind the defense, and then maybe Bonomo can make a run into the penalty area, and Lewis could square it for him. So a little bit of a poor decision there by Bonomo on that offsides there. He was supposed to, I think it was intended, and if he lets the ball go through for Lewis, he would have been on sides, and then New York Red Bulls would have had a very good goal scoring opportunity.
Throw coming for Kyle Smith. Just recently had a good scoring opportunity of his own. Nice cross-field pass. Laid off for Niall McCabe. Oh, couldn't keep that down.
But things are opening up for Louisville's defense, or excuse me, for Louisville in attack. They are opening up New York Red Bulls defense. Look what McCabe does. Lets the ball roll to his favorite right foot. Just couldn't keep the shot down. But once again, you see Smith wide open. McCabe relatively unmarked. So you have to wonder where Najem and Tenari are. They have to drop back and help that back line who may be occupied with Ownby and Lancaster and dropping back a little bit deeper. So those holding midfielders have to come back and do a better job of tightly marking around the top of the penalty area. And if they don't do that, Louisville are going to continue to be aggressive, continue to exploit spaces, and get more shots on frame.
Bonomo seemed to expose the studs there.
And Bonomo is having a rough game, mainly because he's playing with his back toward goal, but also not much movement around him, and he's been surrounded by 2 or 3 different defenders, so he just doesn't have that space to operate with his big body. His best goal scoring chances might have to come off set pieces as well.
Too far for Brian Ownby. Of course, he's been real star for this Louisville side this year. You look at New York, and the way Vincent Bezcourt came on at the end of last year, going all the way to the USL Cup, finally scored in the final, and was off to a really good start this year. They're missing Bezcourt. Brandon Allen has 9 goals this year. He's with Minnesota United. There's an element of watching this New York attack, and you mentioned that Bonomo hasn't had the best game. Some of the most talented players on this Red Bulls 2 team aren't here tonight. As this through ball is tremendous from Lewis. Valo punched away by Dobrovolsky, arriving into the box. Back now for Bonomo. Oh! He scored! Stefano Bonomo levels the score at 1.
And that all started with Zico Lewis playing Valo through. His shot kept out by Dobrovolsky, and then Bonomo able to gather it, get a little bit of space. That's all he needed, was a little bit of space, and the big striker scores a huge equalizer for Red Bulls, and there's no doubt about it there. It's perfectly placed. It's a well done by New York Red Bulls, but that's what happens when you get those through balls. Zico Lewis to Valo just disorganized, disrupted the defense. They were basically in chaos, and Bonomo able to take advantage of it. And now we have a game. Now it gets a lot more interesting now with New York Red Bulls getting the equalizer.
Bonomo in the 58th, Craig in the 39th, ball across toward Ownby. Too strong. Out for a goal kick. For Bonomo, his first of the year, just his second appearance in his 3rd season with Red Bulls 2. He was drafted in 2015 out of Cal by the Red Bulls.
Yeah, but this is, now it makes the game much more interesting here. Bonomo just waiting for his opportunity. He was able to finish it, but also it's that through ball, it's the movement. Lewis to Valo that opened up that defense, that had them on their heels.
Ownby, that's terrific. McCabe circling back. Jimenez, McCabe. Valo took it away. Jimenez slowing the counter.
And McCabe saw that big body of Hassan Ndam in front of him. He looked like he thought to himself, I can't get around this guy. And had to pull it back, and that allowed New York Red Bulls defense to reset and ultimately gain back possession.
A bend. Smith. Ownby now. Scarlett slides in, and a corner for Louisville City.
Yeah, this is an opportunity here for Louisville
It's a Lou City corner kick.
They need set piece opportunities here. They've scored their only goal so far off a set piece. Let's see if they try to do something different, because they've been trying to go near post and it hasn't quite worked. So see if they try to switch it up here.
They do go short. And now Del Piccolo. Del Piccolo's service, that was nearly a cleat to the forehead.
Guy Bend almost got decapitated. He was lucky.
Swung back toward the box, headed toward Ownby. And, well, Ownby going all the way over that side board.
He's taking it for the team right there. Brian Ownby, to me, has been the best player for Louisville in this match. He's been, I've liked what he's done in this match.
Lancaster looking for the call. And it is a foul by New York. I have to say, Brian Ownby must lead the league in signs destroyed so far this year. It's every time he attacks the net.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Hey. Well, he didn't get hurt. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, but did you see how he lowered his center of gravity and really gave it to the sign?
You wonder if he played American football when he was younger. You know, hey, Louisville's a big American football, you know, city with the University of Louisville, Heisman Trophy winner, you know, basketball as well. But I digress anyway.
Digression.
Yeah.
62nd minute. What can Louisville do with prime real estate now? It is Lancaster who went to the near post, and it was knocked away by Laurel.
Yeah, well read by Evan Laurel. Only a two-man wall, so he was going to see this from the minute it went off of Del Piccolo's foot. And he comes over in time and makes a big save. So Evan Laurel, good goalkeeping fundamentals there.
Del Piccolo, second ball, headed back across. Upend. That'll hop away from him. Well, some fans onto their feet now. Another opportunity for Paulo Del Piccolo. Del Piccolo. Clearance comes back to Ownby. Ownby, and now launched over the top, headed back by Craig. Pushed toward the byline.
I think they're going to call Craig for offsides. That's interesting.
Substitution for Louisville City. Entering the match, number 23.
As a sub for Louisville City. It's a sub brought to you by Great Clips. Niall McCabe will come off.
That substitution presented
And
by
Richard
Great
Ballard,
Clips.
the rookie out of Indiana, will come on. McCabe, you mentioned how tough a game he played defensively.
Yeah, he did all the hard work in terms of for forwards, for a forward to track back and do the defensive work, try to disconnect New York Red Bulls 2 in the midfield. He was the one that did that, sacrificed going forward, sacrificed scoring in order to help out defensively. So well done by Niall McCabe.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the United Soccer League. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Kaya Bend still going backward. And was ultimately fouled. Belongs to Louisville City, 65th minute. 1-1 between these two sides. They have never drawn before. New York took the first 5 and won the Eastern Conference Final last year in penalties. Louisville got some measure of revenge with a 3-0 win earlier this year at Montclair State, knocking off this Red Bulls 2 side that sits 8th in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Craig, who has the goal for Louisville, and Dobrovolsky played it out, looking for Tosh.
Like Dobrovolsky had a little unnerved, the ball at his feet. Maybe doesn't quite have that confidence with the ball at his feet. But no harm done for Louisville.
Ballard arriving, taken by Teneri. Ball up the left, trying to unlock Zico Lewis. Tosh shielding away the rookie who was picked in the first round out of Boston College. Off the hand of Teneri.
Yeah, it looks like with Ballard coming on, he's moved over to the more of a central role for Louisville.
Sliced upfield for Omby. We'll go to work on Hassan Endam, who's played a rather good game today. Endam goes flying over the byline. Omby is taking it back now. Smith throwing his arms up. He wants the ball, and the ball across was flicked off the back heel. It could have landed for Lancaster, instead Loro.
Ooh, a little bit of madness back there for New York's Red Bulls 2 in their defense. Ultimately, no shot taken there, but you can see Hassan Endam, big body, huge human being back there. It appears like he's at least a head taller than everyone else that is attacking for Louisville. He's made his presence known. But Louisville, just a little bit of chaos there. Couldn't get it together to really test Evan Loro in goal.
Lancaster's touch on was intercepted. And dropping down to the field is Jordan Scarlett. Noah Powder going to stretch out that right leg. Jordan Scarlett, a couple of injuries this year have really limited his ability to play. This is just his fourth start, the third-round pick out of Iona College from the New York area.
Yeah, it's a growing partnership between Endam and Jordan Scarlett. Figuring Endam is the big body, the player that can win those aerial duels, and Scarlett a little more mobile, a little faster, a little quicker. You like to have that complement of center backs. One tall, strong, aggressive, a ball winner in the air, and Scarlett the one that's faster, quicker, can run and contain those quicker forwards.
Dobrovolsky stepping forward. And they'll go off to the benches. Couple changes coming for New York Red Bulls 2. Zaire Bartley. A substitution brought to you by Great Clips in for Stefano Bonomo, who just before the goal we were remarking he hasn't had the best game. You score a goal, and at the end, does it really matter if you had the best game?
Yeah, especially if they can get a point here or a win. Then it works out well. Then it's, you know, no harm, no foul. They win despite the fact that he didn't play too well. But he did get a goal. That was huge. He basically his only real shot on goal he scored. So that's 100% efficiency. Any striker will take that. So Bonomo putting in his shift. Didn't have the best of games, but the goal certainly makes up for it. And now with Bartley in the game, we'll see how New York Red Bulls adjust and see what they do tactically to get him involved and try to get a goal to win this game.
A bend at it slid away by the aforementioned Bartley. Throw for Smith. Put that on the ground and found Ballard. Ballard trying to get by Scarlett. Stuck a foot out. It's a corner to Louisville City. 69 minutes gone.
And that's where the pace, quickness of Jordan Scarlett comes through. It looked like Ballard was going to get around him, but he was able to use his pace and speed to create a corner kick and get New York out of danger.
And in the last game, a 4-1 win over St. Louis. Both Spencer and Lancaster scored, both off the bench in that game. In this instance, a substitution brought to you by Great Clips. Luke Spencer on for Cameron Lancaster in the 70th minute. And this ball, Spencer got a piece. Somehow Loro kept it out. Well, Spencer nearly magic right off the bench.
You know, Evan Loro is playing with fire by staying on his line when that ball comes into the 6-yard box. I can understand outside the 6-yard box, but inside the 6-yard box, he's got to be aggressive and claim that territory as his own.
And it is Spencer who scores! Luke Spencer right off the bench puts Louisville City back in front.
It's another set-piece goal for Louisville, another match in which New York give up at least 2 goals on the road. A service into the 6. And when the ball is that close, in that area, the goalkeeper cannot wait on the line. It's just too quick. The header is too quick. Evan Loro takes a bad angle in terms of attacking the ball in the air, and Spencer has a pretty easy goal. He doesn't have to do much, just make contact with it. But look at what Loro does. Comes out late, and Spencer beats him to the ball. Loro has got to read that better and not hesitate. Any ball that comes into the 6, the goalkeeper has to attack the ball. Doesn't happen that way. Spencer reads it, and Louisville had the advantage.
For Luke Spencer, a Lou City goal brought to you by the Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination and funding education. The Kentucky Lottery. It's goal number 5 of the year as smoke billows out, and it's nearly turned over in the back by Cutler as Ownby goes sliding down. And it's a throw to Red Bull, New York 2.
How about that? His first touch of the game is a header, and it's a goal. That is amazing. And James O'Connor, just showing why he's one of the best coaches in USL, made that substitution, leads to the go-ahead goal. And now for Louisville, it's holding on to possession, continuing to attack. If they can get another goal, that would seal the 3 points for sure.
Throw for Kyle Smith on the way.
To our Kentucky Lottery lucky fans of the month, Rebecca Bratcher and Seth Lever.
Allard shows.
They're walking away tonight with a special prize.
Allard turns. Zico Lewis bombs it back to midfield. Paco Craig scored the first goal of this match in the 39th. It was a corner kick off the head, sprung along by Spencer and out of play.
Now there's going to be a real sense of urgency for New York Red Bulls, but we were talking about the high pressing. You notice Red Bulls haven't been doing that too much because it takes your toll on your team. 60th minute, 59th minute, 59th, 60th minute, the hour mark, if you will. You see they've slowed down on that. They haven't been as aggressive in terms of trying to win the ball in midfield, that high pressing. And Louisville has taken advantage of it. They've had more of the possession. They've been able to knock the ball around, and they worked their way down the field to the point where they earned a set piece, and then obviously the go-ahead goal. So when you play that high pressing game, you have to get turnovers deep in your attacking half, and you have to convert your finishing, your opportunities. And they weren't able to do that in the first half, and it might cost them 3 points. Still a lot of soccer left here, but New York Red Bulls, they have to find a way to get an equalizer here.
Throw coming for Sean Toch and this Louisville City side. There goes Bartley. Cutler arriving, sending the cross for Flemings. Powder, not enough. Instead, Najim.
And it appears that though Spencer has, or excuse me, Bartley, I should say, has moved out wide to the right, and Flemings has moved into where Bonomo was at the top of that 4-2-3-1. So Flemings, it's going to be a faster lineup now for New York Red Bulls with Bonomo out and Bartley in.
Corner for Andrew Tenari. This ball bouncing through the area. Flemings turned right into Toch. Trying to get the quick counter, and there goes Jimenez off to meet with the fans. Of course, you can meet Oscar Jimenez tomorrow at Soccer Village on Shelbyville Road between 2 and 4. You'll have Mark Anthony Kay with him and Sean Reynolds too. And you can save 10% on authentic Louisville City gear and enter to win a signed jersey as well. Of course, tonight you probably hope it's Kay or Reynolds jersey, given that they're a little cleaner at the present moment.
Yeah, for sure. Is it going to be cotton candy?
Please. Ownby trying to get up the line. Lewis took it away. Powder. Well, John Walnick falls down on his backside to protest the call.
It's the shoes. That's what it is. If it was soccer boots and cleats, he would have that grip. He wouldn't fall. But he's got the tarp. He's got the smooth, leather shoes. Yeah.
Fordham's acting program is pretty good. Denzel Washington is a Fordham guy,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's. I did not know that. That's pretty smooth.
So John Wallenick actually is just channeling inner
Denzel Washington
past, right?
Okay. Hey, that's a good actor to channel.
That's
great
right.
actor to channel. Yeah.
Ball up the right. Opportunity for Red Bulls to equalize. It's Fleming's, and Craig got down, wound back across the face of goal. Well, this is pretty impressive. Scarlett got it up the right. And a corner for New York. They're appealing for a handball, and Teneri won't win that battle. Instead, a corner for Red Bulls 2.
This is some serious danger right here for Louisville's defense. They cannot allow this to continue for the next 10 to 15 minutes, or else Red Bulls will probably get an equalizer.
Kicked away on that 6th corner of the match by New York.
And New York, they tried to play near post. The last 2 corners, they've tried to go near post. They really haven't tried to send it into the heart of the penalty area and get maybe an Ndam or Scarlett in the air, especially Ndam with his size. You have to make him the target on corner kicks. And with his size, you don't want him to be the target in a low near post. You want to get it in the air, middle of the area, so he can run up and elevate.
Teneri, drop pass. Well, nothing there.
Fans, it's time to vote for today's Modelo Man of the Match. Find the poll at the official Louisville City FC Twitter account at Lou City
Hey
FC.
fans, the USL, one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world. It features some of the game's top talents and its rising stars. Stay up to date, all the latest league news and information. Visit USLsoccer.com. Follow them on Twitter at USL. All the goal highlights on the USL Twitter page. Well, the discussion coming into this game with members of the Louisville staff was that corners and free kicks were an area they felt they could win. And boy, have they tonight. 2 goals on corners, victimizing New York. Give and go. Smith played it back across. Lauro tried to keep it in. It was Scarlett who went down, and the 10th corner here for Louisville City.
Yeah, all game long, down the right side of Louisville's attack, the left side of New York Red Bulls 2 defense that has been there for Louisville all game long. They've been able to exploit, look dangerous, plenty of space. We saw a good 1-2 movement there with Smith, and hasn't led to a goal, but they certainly have made things uncomfortable for New York Red Bulls.
And on that corner, a one-fisted punch from Lauro.
Yeah, that's more like it by Evan Lauro. That ball comes into the 6, you have to be aggressive because, and we said it earlier in the match, anytime a goalkeeper receives contact in that area, the foul is going to be whistled in his favor, so he has to take advantage of that.
It's Spencer, a goal already, looking there for Ownby. Ownby still chasing and nearly forcing the turnover. Instead, at the head of Lewis comes to Del Piccolo, playing now for Spencer, cuts it back. It's Del Piccolo! What a save by Lauro! Keeping New York in it in the 80th minute. That's phenomenal.
Brilliant save by Lauro, but look at this. That little feint right there by Ballard, it opened up a little bit of space for Del Piccolo as the defense thought that Ballard was going to get a touch on it, but that little feint by Ballard allowed Del Piccolo with a little more space, and he was able to rifle a great shot, and Lauro comes up with a huge save.
And Del Piccolo, Johnny on the spot now. Del Piccolo, the cross, knocked out by Lauro.
But the feint by Ballard was great because it threw that defense off. You could see players reacting more to Ballard than the ball. And then Del Piccolo had time. He could have even gotten a little extra touch on it, settled it, and then taken the shot. That's how much space he had. but he still did a fine job with that one-time shot, and Laurel comes up with a huge save. Maybe a save that helps them preserve a point in this match. We'll see.
Lewis.
Thank you to all our hometown supporters who made
Well done by Flemings. Still working on Craig. Flemings all the way.
Great defending by Craig. With Flemings and that pace, the most important thing is to get physical, to push him, give him a little bit of a nudge there, get physical and establish that presence so that he's not able to extend and get into full speed. And Craig was able to do that, get physical, push him a little bit, didn't commit the foul, and won back possession for Louisville. So well done by the man who scored the first goal of the match.
Teneri all the way to Dobrovolsky. You know, I found it interesting this week. James O'Connor was asked by a reporter about a comment that John Wallenick had after the 1-0 win against Toronto FC2, saying that they were going to bring a better game to Louisville than what they had put together in their 1-0 win. And James O'Connor said, you know, not to be cocky or arrogant, but we expect teams' best shots at this stage. 2 times now the Eastern Conference finalists. Haven't quite gotten over that hump, but you can't argue with what they've done in the regular season.
Absolutely, and teams, they take note of that. They know that this is a 2-time Eastern Conference finalist, and they say, oh, you guys are the finalists? All right, let's see how good you are today. And they go after them. And the best, you take teams' best shots, it makes your team better, and it builds your confidence. So you have to like what James O'Connor said, and the players, they respond to that. If they hear that their coach is bigging them up and is cocky in their favor, that makes them play harder. They have more belief in themselves. So managing and coaching is not just the tactics, making sure everybody's in the right, but it's also psychological and managing the egos and of the players as well. And James O'Connor has done a fabulous job at both aspects of that.
Well, Piccolo got it ahead, and it struck from distance. It's off frame from Jimenez.
Oscar Jimenez has looked very good, had some good moments in this match. Kind of on the opposite side of Ownby, or I should say Kyle Smith. Remember, it was his service that led to the goal for Paco Craig.
Flemings against Craig. Of course, Jimenez scored last game and said, unlike the Charleston goal that I scored, that one was real. It wasn't deflected on the way.
But he'll take credit for the deflected one, though. Yeah. Anywhere you can get him, you get him. That's for sure. But Louisville, coming into this match, it wasn't the cleanest. If this scoreline holds on, I should say, it hasn't been the cleanest of victories for Louisville if this scoreline holds up. But sometimes you can't always win like that. You have to just win however you can, and then you improve for the next match.
Dosh, overhead kick. And the foul there. And a change coming. It's Kazu Shigenobu coming on for Andrew Teneri. Shigenobu, 17 years old, out of Ridgewood, New Jersey. That academy in New York. That's a substitution brought to you by Great Clips. Teneri's night is complete.
Yeah, Teneri in that central midfield role picked up a yellow card in the 30th minute and has probably been a little too overly careful and cautious since then. It hasn't done much in terms of really slowing down or stopping Louisville in the midfield. Let's bring in some fresh legs, bring in the teenager, maybe provide the spark, Shigenobu.
It's Cutler. Oh, Jimenez took it right off his foot. Ballard now.
And that's tough there, Cutler pushing up. But Louisville just dropping numbers back. Very simple, dropping enough numbers back, making it hard for New York to connect.
Zico Lewis goes flying in, and now it is picked up by Dobrovolsky. Well, that's a tremendous piece of work done.
Yeah.
Push ahead to Ownby. Ownby stepping over. That's the handle.
Looked like he might have slipped as well, but Jordan Scarlett in the right position is also. So, but Ownby, he's very quick, very fast. And down that right side between Lewis and Ownby, they have looked very dangerous.
As Ownby will come off.
Louisville City substitution. Entering the match,
This substitution brought to you by Great Clips. Great Clips. Ryan Ownby probably should stop there soon.
Well, that's the in-style thing, right? The Vogue, the beer.
It's gonna be great.
And there's Kay, who's back from Gold Cup duty. Second appearance since that time with that young and uprising Canada side.
Yeah, it's a young squad. But they look very good in the Gold Cup. I think the future is very bright for the Canadian national team. I mean, this is a nation that has people from all parts of the world that love football, that love soccer. So Canada should be a team on the rise, should be doing much better. But I think with this Gold Cup performance and with some of the players that they have, Alphonso Davies, one of them, they have a chance to be very good and over the next 4 or 5 years threaten the United States, Mexico, Canada, Mexico and Costa Rica in CONCACAF. Those are right now. Those three are the big three in CONCACAF right now.
Well, and clearly they're already out of the Hex.
Right.
So focus for Mark Anthony Kay and that next group of Canadian stars come up for Canada. Of course, Mark Anthony Kay, 7 in purple at the bottom of your screen, coming back and commenting on what a drastic change international football is from club football at any level. It's a pretty significant step up.
Yes, for sure. The weight of a nation on your shoulders, on your jersey, basically.
He said everyone in Canada is watching me right now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's for sure.
As fans, make sure you tune in to USL Coast to Coast on SiriusXM FC, channel 85. Mondays at 7 p.m. for the latest USL news and information from around the league. And also, SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
Fans, tonight's Modelo Man of the Match voted by you is number 18, Paco Craig. Man of the match.
And since Junior Flemings went to the top and became kind of the only striker, the number one or the lone striker in that formation, he has been very quiet. I think his best position is probably out wide on the right, but the move was made there when Bartley came in the 68th minute. But Flemings has had very little influence here in this second half.
Attendance was just announced in the stadium. It's the second highest attendance at Slugger Field this year for Louisville City. 10,017 to see Anthony Kay in the group. Boy, that group down behind the goal, behind Evan Lauro, has been quite loud tonight. The Coopers making plenty of noise as they've brought over 21,000 fans over the course of the last 2 home games.
It's always good to see the passion and the intensity for the clubs and the home fields. 10,000 plus. You consider the layout of the stadium, that's a great number for Louisville.
Well, could they give them one last exclamation point? Jimenez, too strong. Spencer was running in a bit late. It's another substitution brought to you by Great Clips. Tim Schmoll on for David Najim.
Match number 39, Tim Schmoll. He replaces number 37.
Schmoll, the native of Switzerland, on for Najim, who's spent time overseas in Germany in the lower divisions. Off the head of Schmoll, and saved by Dobrovolsky as Flemings was running right down the center of the field.
Yeah, you could see what Schmoll was brought in to do. Use that big body to win throw-ins, win long balls, and try to occupy space, maybe occupy a couple of defenders so that Flemings can go through and get run at the defense and create goal-scoring opportunities.
Well, there's Schmoll showing off that speed. Flemings, not the best first touch, taken away by a bend. Smith, 3 minutes of added time.
With the Schmoll substitution, Valo will drop deeper into the midfield so that Schmoll can have some space to operate there.
Goal kick coming. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Both teams, this is absolutely massive moments in their seasons. Game number 21 for New York. And a very tough schedule ahead for Louisville City. They're on the road next to Charlotte Independence, currently the #1 team in the Eastern Conference. Brought down by Flemings. He's looking for the call. He flopped down. Craig launches it down, looking for Luke Spencer. Of course, a really notable next home match against FC Cincinnati on August 12th. But in the interim, the watch party for the next game at Charlotte at Boombah's Craft Pizza and Tap House in the Highlands on Bardstown Road. You can watch with all your friends that you usually see at the game as Zico Lewis met by Smith. And this may be a really good opportunity for New York late, especially with Schmoll into the game with all that size.
Yeah, you have Schmoll, a tall player. You have Ndam, who's a tall player as well. Those two, if they can find a way to create it, carve out a little bit of space, create a little bit of space, Valo can find them, it'll be a very dramatic equalizer here at Slugger Field.
Schmoll is 6'7". He's on the right side of your screen, 39 in the red shorts. Well, Valo has to really make an effort to put it in the box. Loro was forward as the goalkeeper. And a goal kick coming, which has Bartley complaining to the far side official, and now they call it a corner. So Loro's going to stay forward.
This is serious right here. You can see Schmoll and Ndam. They have to get good services there and try to connect with one of those two.
There's the service. Schmoll. And it's a scissor kick effort by Ndam. A throw coming, fantastic defense, keeping Ndam from what would have been an awe-inspiring goal. Backstop now by Powder. Lifts it up to Schmoll. He gets it toward Ndam, and it's headed wide. And it belongs to Louisville City on a goal kick. It was nearly an equalizer for New York.
Oh, Schmoll winning the header, and Ndam finds himself in the right place. It's a great athleticism to get that shot on frame, but just couldn't finish it. Oh, that would have completely taken the air out of everyone, all the Louisville fans here at Slugger Field.
Schmoll will pick up a yellow card for his trouble, just the second of the season. And full time. Louisville City gets the late goal. Luke Spencer off the bench, scoring for the second game running. And James O'Connor's side comes away with a 2-1 win over the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year, New York Red Bulls 2.
Yeah, well done by Louisville. It wasn't the most attractive match for Louisville in terms of the run of play, but they got the goals when they needed it, and their training ground work that they put in for the set piece and the corner led to goals. So Louisville getting it done, and in the standings you don't get extra points for beauty or style. It's all about getting the victory. Louisville did what they had to do and managed to survive the Red Bulls in this match.
Games in hand over both teams ahead of them in the standings, and they pick up 3 tonight. So Louisville City, a 2-1 win, as the goals come from Craig in the 39th and Spencer in the 70th. We'll wrap it up and tell you about the Magna Wave save of the game when we return.
Box combo, please. At Raising Cane's, we do one thing.
And we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking? Love in the window. Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Life is easy here, and now you can make it even easier with a home equity line of credit from Republic Bank. Even if your mortgage isn't with us, you can get a below-prime 2.99% APR 6-month introductory fixed interest rate with an ongoing variable rate thereafter and no closing costs. Pay off higher loan rates, manage unexpected expenses, or make a home improvement or two. Stop by your nearest Republic Banking Center and talk to an associate today. We're Republic Bank, and it's just easier here.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Pizza, beer, sports. A great combination. Join other sports fans at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House in Louisville, where you'll find what Food Network says is the best pizza in Kentucky. Incredible game day and social hour specials starting at just $2. With an award-winning menu and one of city's best local craft beer list. Just one bite, and we know you'll love it so much, you'll come back time and time again at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House, your social sports destination.
A 2-1 win tonight at Slugger Field in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville City a winner over New York Red Bulls 2. Mike Watts back with George Metellus. And when you think about what Luke Spencer did, what we saw from Paco Craig in the 39th, winning on set pieces, and for Louisville City, keeping pace at the top of the East.
Yeah, very important for Louisville City to get this 3 points over a team that they have some issues with, but for the most part have been able to dominate, and they got the 3 points. It wasn't the way I'm sure James O'Connor would have wanted it to through the run and play and through attractive football, but you got to get them how you get them, and they were able to do so and pick up 3 points, and huge victory for them. They're showing that they can win ugly when necessary.
Teneri lining a ball in, and Dobrovolsky up to the task early, setting up Zico Lewis. This is a great stop.
Oh, this is brilliant, brilliant effort there. I think Dobrovolsky might have got a fingertip to it, but it's a great shot by Lewis. And if that ball goes in, obviously it changes the complexity of this match.
This is the first goal, 39th minute. Paco Craig getting behind Endom.
How this ball gets to Paco Craig is amazing, because it's a great service, obviously, by Oscar Jimenez. But when you consider the positioning right there, Endom is right there to clear it away, and it just goes over his head, mistimes his jump, and you see Lauro beaten in goal. Maybe Lauro should have been a little more aggressive attacking the ball, but still, got to give full credit to Paco Craig for finishing that opportunity in traffic.
10,017 go crazy, almost again, less than a minute later from Lancaster.
Yeah, good through ball there by, looked like it was McCabe with the through ball, and Lancaster comes up with a huge save.
Looking forward, Dobrovolsky getting down to make the save, and not enough as Bonomo scores from distance.
Yeah, Bonomo with a great goal, but that started with with Zico Lewis getting through to Valo, and Valo testing the goalkeeper, chaos in the area, and Bonomo with the big equalizer. As you could tell that Dobrovolsky didn't see it until the very end.
That in the 58th minute, move forward to the 70th. Luke Spencer comes off the bench and wham!
Yep, big goal there. He beats Lauro to the ball, and he scores a huge goal. In his first touch of the game, he's able to score. It was a huge, huge goal, and Louisville able to hang on and pick up the 3 points and doing what they need to do at home. Doesn't always have to be pretty, but as long as you have more other goals than the other team, that's all that matters.
10 points over the last 5 games for Louisville City in the standings, and those are the statistics on how they did it. Throw possession aside, this is a game where Louisville put more shots on target, and that's the difference.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. You can have all the other stats, but shots on target usually lead to more goals, and that was the situation there. 2-to-1 goal ratio, 2-to-1 shots on target ratio. Very, very simple formula right there.
Let's show you tonight's save of the game. It's brought to you by MagnaWave, the leader in pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. Evan Lauro.
Yes, that was a fantastic save. Great movement there. I believe it was Del Piccolo with the shot, and Lauro cutting off the angle, quick reflexes on the tip of his toes, and makes a huge save. and kept New York Red Bulls in this match.
Kept it within one, but that's as close as they would come. The next match coming up for Louisville City is on the road on WBNA at Charlotte. And, of course, you can watch the game at Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House in the Highlands on Bardstown Road as they take on the #1 team right now in the Eastern Conference.
It's a huge game. That is going to be fun to watch.
It should be
a huge game.
Yeah, really fantastic game between two offenses that are playing as well as any in the East right now. Louisville City, a 2-1 win over New York Red Bulls 2. Bonomo drawing level in the second half. But Luke Spencer, the man in the 70th, as Louisville City wins. For producer Andrew Firestein, director Tom Biro, and George Metellus, Mike Watts saying so long. 10,017 saw a 2-1 win over New York tonight. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.